Namaste to all. Ram Ram Ram. Hope my voice is audible. Hope my voice is audible. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahanau Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Namaste to all. Ram Ram Ram. Today is the 15th class of Valmiki's Sundara Kandam. We have completed the first Sarga. We have learned the explanation as well. And we started Sarga 2, the first set of 20 shlokas in the last class. Hanuman has crossed over the ocean and he's just getting into Lanka looking for Sita Mata. Today we will revise the first set of 20 shlokas and then move to the next 20. I will do the dhyanam shlokas and then we can have members chant and repeat. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वम् अरोगता अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत् मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शरणं प्रपद्ये यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकम् कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलम्. राम राम सुजाता जी.
राम राम वाणी जी.
नमस्ते.
नमस्ते वाणी. सुन्दरकाण्डं द्वितीयः सर्गः निशागमप्रतीक्षा. ससागरमनाधृष्यम् अतिक्रम्य महाबलः त्रिकूटशिखरे लङ्कां स्थितां स्वस्थो ददर्शः. ततः पादपमुक्तेन पुष्पवर्षेण वीर्यवान् अभिवृष्टस्थितस्तत्र बभौ पुष्पमयो यथा. योजनानां शतं श्रीमान् तीर्त्वाप्युत्तमविक्रमः अनिश्वसन् कपिस्तत्र न ग्लानिमधिगच्छति. शतान्यहं योजनानां क्रमेयं सुबहून्यपि किं पुनः सागरस्यान्तं सङ्ख्यातं शतयोजनम् स तु वीर्यवतां श्रेष्ठः प्लवतामपि चोत्तमः जगाम वेगवान् लङ्कां लङ्घयित्वा महोदधिम् शाद्वलानि च नीलानि गन्धवन्ति वनानि च गण्डवन्ति च मध्येन जगामनगवन्ति च शैलांश्च तरुसञ्चन्नान् वनराजीश्च पुष्पिताः अभिचक्राम तेजस्वी हनुमान् प्लवगर्षभः स तस्मिन्नचले तिष्ठन् वनान्युपवनानि च स नगाग्रे च तां लङ्कां ददर्श पवनात्मजः सरलान् कर्णिकारांश्च खर्जूरांश्च सुपुष्पितान् प्रियालान् मुचुलिन्दांश्च कुटजान् केतकानपि प्रियङ्गून् गन्धपूर्णांश्च नीपान् सप्तच्छदास्तथा असनान् कोविदारांश्च करवीरांश्च पुष्पितान् पुष्पभारनिबद्धांश्च तथा मुकुलितानपि पादपान् विहगाकीर्णान् पवनाधूतमस्तकान् हंसकारण्डवाकीर्णाः वापीः पद्मोत्पलायुताः आक्रीडान् विविधान् रम्यान् विविधांश्च जलाशयान् सन्ततान् विविधैर्वृक्षैः सर्वर्तुफलपुष्पितैः उद्यानानि च रम्याणि ददर्श कपिकुञ्जरः समासाद्य च लक्ष्मीवान् लङ्कां रावणपालितां परिखाभिः स पद्माभिः सोत्पलाभिरलङ्कृताम् सीतापहरणार्थेन रावणेन सुरक्षिताम् समन्ताद्विचरद्भिश्च राक्षसैरुग्रधन्विभिः काञ्चनेनावृतां रम्यां प्राकारेण महापुरीं गृहैश्च ग्रहसङ्काशैः शारदाम्बुदसन्निभैः पाण्डराभिः प्रतोलीभिः उच्चाभिरभिसंवृताम् अट्टालकशताकीर्णा पताकाध्वजमालिनीम् तोरणैः काञ्चनैर्दिव्यैः लतापङ्क्तिविचित्रितैः ददर्श हनुमान् लङ्कां दिवि देवपुरीमिव गिरिमूर्ध्नि स्थितां लङ्कां पाण्डुरैर्भवनैः शुभैः ददर्श स कपिश्रेष्ठः पुरमाकाशगं यथा पालितां राक्षसेन्द्रेण निर्मितां विश्वकर्मणा प्लवमानामिवाकाशे ददर्श हनुमान् पुरीम्.
Excellent. Excellent. We practiced every day, Shwetaji.
Yes, Vaniji, I practice daily.
Daily.
Thank you, Vaniji. Periva Sharanam.
Ram Ram. Rajeshwari ji.
राम राम नमस्कारम जी।
हाँ राम राम नमस्ते। वक्रप्राकारजघनाम्
वक्रप्राकारजघनाम्
विपुलाम्बुनवाम्बराम्
विपुलाम्बुनवाम्बराम्
शतघ्निशूलकेशान्ताम्
शतघ्निशूलकेशान्ताम्
अट्टालकवतंसकाम्।
अट्टालकवतंसकाम्।
वेरी गुड। वक्रप्राकारजघनाम् विपुलाम्बुनवाम्बराम्
वक्रप्राकारजघनाम् विपुलाम्बुनवाम्बराम्
शतघ्निशूलकेशान्ताम् अट्टालकवतंसकाम्।
शतघ्निशूलकेशान्ताम् अट्टालकवतंसकाम्।
मनसेव कृतां लङ्काम्
मनसेव कृतां लङ्काम्।
there is no dvitva there. मनसेव कृतां लङ्काम्।
मनसेव कृतां लङ्काम्।
Very good. निर्मितां विश्वकर्मणा
निर्मितां विश्वकर्मणा
द्वारमुत्तरमासाद्य
द्वारमुत्तरमासाद्य
चिन्तयामास वानरः।
चिन्तयामास वानरः।
मनसेव कृतां लङ्कां निर्मितां विश्वकर्मणा।
मनसेव कृतां
मनसे
मनसेव कृतां लङ्काम्।
one word मनसेव
मनसेव
कृतां
कृतां लङ्काम् निर्मितां विश्वकर्मणा। Shall I repeat?
one more time.
मनसेव कृतां लङ्काम्।
Still saying Rajeshwari ji, you are still saying manaseva. You're adding a extra sakara there. So no need.
मनसेव कृतां लङ्काम्।
मनसेव कृतां लङ्काम्।
मनसेव कृतां लङ्काम्
Without breaking. मनसेव
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 मनसेव कृतां लङ्कां निर्मितां विश्वकर्मणा।
मनसेव कृतां लङ्काम् निर्मितां विश्वकर्मणा।
द्वारमुत्तरमासाद्य चिन्तयामास वानरः।
द्वारमुत्तरमासाद्य चिन्तयामास वानरः।
वेरी गुड। कैलासशिखरप्रख्याम्
कैलासशिखरप्रख्याम्
आलिखन्तीमिवाम्बराम्।
आलिखन्तीमिवाम्बरम्।
विवाम्बरम् शबिता।
आलिखन्तीमिवाम्बरम्।
दीयमानामिवाकाशम्
दीयमानामिवाकाशम्
उच्छ्रितैर्भवनोत्तमैः।
उच्छ्रितैर्भवनोत्तमैः।
वेरी गुड। कैलास कैलासशिखरप्रख्याम् आलिखन्तीमिवाम्बरम्
कैलासशिखरप्रख्याम् आलिखन्तीमिवाम्बरम्
दीयमानामिवाकाशम् उच्छ्रितैर्भवनोत्तमैः
दीयमानामिवाकाशम् उच्छ्रितैर्भवनोत्तमैः
वेरी गुड सम्पूर्णां राक्षसैर्घोरैः
सम्पूर्णां राक्षसैर्घोरैः
नागैर्भोगवतीमिव
नागैर्भोगवतीमिव
अचिन्त्यां सुकृतां स्पष्टाम्
अचिन्त्यां सुकृतां स्पष्टाम्
कुबेराध्युषितां पुरा
कुबेराध्युषितां पुरा
वेरी गुड सम्पूर्णां राक्षसैर्घोरैः नागैर्भोगवतीमिव
सम्पूर्णां राक्षसैर्घोरैः नागैर्भोगवतीमिव
अचिन्त्यां सुकृतां स्पष्टां कुबेराध्युषितां पुरा
अचिन्त्यां सुकृतां स्पष्टां कुबेराध्युषितां पुरा
वेरी गुड दंष्ट्रिभिर्बहुभिः शूरैः
दंष्ट्रिभिर्बहुभिः शूरैः
very good the both bha is mahaprana there and then bhishuraihi very good शूलपट्टिसपाणिभिः
शूलपट्टिसपाणिभिः
रक्षितां राक्षसैर्घोरैः
रक्षितां राक्षसैर्घोरैः
गुहामाशीविषैरिव
गुहामाशीविषैरिव
very good दंष्ट्रिभिर्बहुभिः शूरैः शूलपट्टिसपाणिभिः
दंष्ट्रिभिर्बहुभिः शूरैः शूलपट्टिसपाणिभिः
रक्षितां राक्षसैर्घोरैः गुहामाशीविषैरिव
रक्षितां राक्षसैर्घोरैः गुहामाशीविषैरिव
तस्याश्च महतीं गुप्तिं
तस्याश्च महतीं गुप्तिं
सागरं च निरीक्ष्य सः
सागरं च निरीक्ष्य सः
रावणं च रिपुं घोरं
रावणं च रिपुं घोरम्
चिन्तयामास वानरः
चिन्तयामास वानरः
तस्याश्च महतीं गुप्तिं सागरं च निरीक्ष्य सः
तस्याश्च महतीं गुप्तिं सागरं च निरीक्ष्य सः
रावणं च रिपुं घोरं चिन्तयामास वानरः
रावणं च रिपुं घोरं चिन्तयामास वानरः
the next second line usually goes low
Ah.
रावणं च रिपुं घोरं चिन्तयामास वानरः
रावणं च रिपुं घोरं
go down
घोरं चिन्तयामास वानरः
very good आगत्यापीह हरयो
आगत्यापीह हरयो
भविष्यन्ति निरर्थकाः
भविष्यन्ति निरर्थकाः
न हि युद्धेन वै लङ्का
न हि युद्धेन वै लङ्का
शक्या जेतुं सुरैरपि
शक्या जेतुं सुरैरपि
आगत्यापीह हरयो भविष्यन्ति निरर्थकाः
आगत्यापीह हरयो भविष्यन्ति निरर्थकाः
न हि युद्धेन वै लङ्का शक्या जेतुं सुरैरपि
न हि युद्धेन वै लङ्का शक्या जेतुं सुरैरपि
Excellent. इमां तु विषमां दुर्गाम्
इमां तु विषमां दुर्गाम्
the two there is short two. So
इमां तु विषमां दुर्गाम्
लङ्कां रावणपालिताम्
लङ्कां रावणपालिताम्
प्राप्यापि स महाबाहुः
प्राप्यापि स महाबाहुः
किं करिष्यति राघवः
किं करिष्यति राघवः
the bahuhu also the short hrasvah इमां तु विषमां दुर्गां लङ्कां रावणपालिताम्
इमां तु विषमां दुर्गां लङ्कां रावणपालिताम्
प्राप्यापि स महाबाहुः किं करिष्यति राघवः
प्राप्यापि स महाबाहुः किं करिष्यति राघवः
Very good. अवकाशो न सान्त्वस्य
अवकाशो न सान्त्वस्य
राक्षसेष्वभिगम्यते
राक्षसेष्वभिगम्यते
न दानस्य न भेदस्य
न दानस्य न भेदस्य
नैव युद्धस्य दृश्यते
नैव युद्धस्य दृश्यते
अवकाशो न सान्त्वस्य राक्षसेष्वभिगम्यते
अवकाशो न सान्त्वस्य राक्षसेष्वभिगम्यते
न दानस्य न भेदस्य नैव युद्धस्य दृश्यते
न दानस्य न भेदस्य नैव युद्धस्य दृश्यते
चतुर्णामेव हि गतिः
चतुर्णामेव हि गतिः
वानराणां महात्मनाम्
वानराणां महात्मनाम्
बालिपुत्रस्य नीलस्य
वालिपुत्रस्य नीलस्य
मम राज्ञश्च धीमतः
मम राज्ञश्च धीमतः
चतुर्णामेव हि गतिः वानराणां महात्मनाम्
चतुर्णामेव हि गतिः वानराणां महात्मनाम्
बालिपुत्रस्य नीलस्य मम राज्ञश्च धीमतः
वालिपुत्रस्य नीलस्य मम राज्ञश्च धीमतः
Very good. यावज्जानामि वैदेहीम्
यावज्जानामि वैदेहीम्
यदि जीवति वा न वा
यदि जीवति वा न वा
तत्रैव चिन्तयिष्यामि
तत्रैव चिन्तयिष्यामि
दृष्ट्वा तां जनकात्मजाम्
दृष्ट्वा तां जनकात्मजाम्
यावज्जानामि वैदेहीं यदि जीवति वा न वा
यावत् जानामि वैदेहीं यदि जीवति वा न वा
तत्रैव चिन्तयिष्यामि दृष्ट्वा तां जनकात्मजाम्
तत्रैव चिन्तयिष्यामि दृष्ट्वां तां जनकात्मजाम्
ततः स चिन्तयामास
ततः स चिन्तयामास
मुहूर्तं कपिकुञ्जरः
मुहूर्तं कपिकुञ्जरः
वेरी गुड गिरिशृङ्गे स्थितस्तस्मिन्
गिरिशृङ्गे स्थितस्तस्मिन्
रामस्याभ्युदये रतः
रामस्याभ्युदये रतः
ततः स चिन्तयामास मुहूर्तं कपिकुञ्जरः
ततः स चिन्तयामास मुहूर्तं कपिकुञ्जरः
गिरिशृङ्गे स्थितस्तस्मिन् रामस्याभ्युदये रतः
गिरिशृङ्गे स्थितस्तस्मिन् रामस्याभ्युदये रतः
Here. गिरिशृङ्गे स्थितस्तस्मिन् go down.
गिरिशृङ्गे स्थितस्तस्मिन् रामस्याभ्युदये रतः
Very good. There is a dvitva in the previous one. Girishrunge sthitastasya. There is a sakaraha dvitva there. Anena rupena maya
अनेन रूपेण मया
na shakya rakshasam puri
न शक्या रक्षसां पुरी
praveshtum rakshasaiर्गुप्ता
प्रवेष्टुं राक्षसैर्गुप्ता
क्रूरैर्बलसमन्वितैः
क्रूरैर्बलसमन्वितैः
अनेन रूपेण मया न शक्या रक्षसां पुरी
अनेन रूपेण मया न शक्या रक्षसां पुरी
प्रवेष्टुं राक्षसैर्गुप्ता क्रूरैर्बलसमन्वितैः
प्रवेष्टुं राक्षसैर्गुप्ता क्रूरैर्बलसमन्वितैः
Very good. उग्रौजसो महावीर्या
उग्रौजसो महावीर्या
बलवन्तश्च राक्षसाः
बलवन्तश्च राक्षसाः
वञ्चनीया मया सर्वे
वञ्चनीया मया सर्वे
जानकीं परिमार्गता
जानकीं परिमार्गता
उग्रौजसो महावीर्या बलवन्तश्च राक्षसाः
उग्रौजसो महावीर्या बलवन्तश्च राक्षसाः
वञ्चनीया मया सर्वे जानकीं परिमार्गता
वञ्चनीया मया सर्वे जानकीं परिमार्गता
लक्ष्यालक्ष्येण रूपेण
लक्ष्यालक्ष्येन रूपेण
रात्रौ लङ्कापुरी मया
रात्रौ लङ्कापुरी मया
प्रवेष्टुं प्राप्तकालं मे
प्रवेष्टुं प्राप्तकालं मे
कृत्यं साधयितुं महत्
कृत्यं साधयितुं महत्
लक्ष्यालक्ष्येण रूपेण रात्रौ लङ्कापुरी मया
लक्ष्यालक्ष्येण रूपेण रात्रौ लङ्कापुरी मया
प्रवेष्टुं प्राप्तकालं मे कृत्यं साधयितुं महत्
प्रवेष्टुं प्राप्तकालं मे कृत्यं साधयितुं महत्
तां पुरीं तादृशीं दृष्ट्वा
तां पुरीं तादृशीं दृष्ट्वा
दुराधर्षां सुरासुरैः
दुरादर्शां सुरासुरैः
हनुमांश्चिन्तयामास
हनुमां चिन्तयामास
माम् इश्च सो
ह- हनुमां चिन्तयामास
वेरी गुड विनिश्चित्य मुहुर्मुहुः
विनिश्चित्य मुहुर्मुहुः
तां पुरीं तादृशीं दृष्ट्वा दुराधर्षां सुरासुरैः
तां पुरीं तादृशीं दृष्ट्वा दुरादर्शां सुरासुरैः
हनुमांश्चिन्तयामास विनिश्चित्य मुहुर्मुहुः
हनुमां चिन्तयामास विनिश्चित्य मुहुर्मुहुः
वेरी गुड केनोपायेन पश्येयम्
केनोपायेन पश्येयम्
मैथिलीं जनकात्मजाम्
मैथिलीं जनकात्मजाम्
अदृष्टो राक्षसेन्द्रेण
अदृष्टो राक्षसेन्द्रेण
रावणेन दुरात्मना
रावणेन दुरात्मना
केनोपायेन पश्येयम् मैथिलीं जनकात्मजाम्
केनोपायेन पश्येयम् मैथिलीं जनकात्मजाम्
अदृष्टो राक्षसेन्द्रेण रावणेन दुरात्मना
अदृष्टो राक्षसेन्द्रेण रावणेन दुरात्मना
वेरी न विनश्येत् कथं कार्यम्
न विनश्येत् कथं कार्यम्
रामस्य विदितात्मनः
रामस्य विदितात्मनः
एकामेकश्च पश्येयम्
एकामेकश्च पश्येयम्
रहिते जनकात्मजाम्
रहिते जनकात्मजाम्
वेरी गुड न विनश्येत् कथं कार्यम् रामस्य विदितात्मनः
न विनश्येत् कथं कार्यम् रामस्य विदितात्मनः
एकामेकश्च पश्येयम् रहिते जनकात्मजाम्
एकामेकश्च पश्येयम् रहिते जनकात्मजाम्
भूताश्चार्था विपद्यन्ते
भूताश्चार्था विपद्यन्ते
slightly tricky word भूता इश्चा ir, ha. The bhu and the ha are mahapranaha. In between, it is all alpa pranaha. So, bhutaschartha vipadyante.
भूताश्चार्था विपद्यन्ते
देशकालविरोधिताः
देशकालविरोधिताः
विक्लवं दूतमासाद्य
विक्लवं दूतमासाद्य
तमः सूर्योदये यथा
तमः सूर्योदये यथा
भूताश्चार्था विपद्यन्ते देशकालविरोधिताः
भूताश्चार्था विपद्यन्ते देशकालविरोधिताः
विक्लवं दूतमासाद्य तमः सूर्योदये यथा
विक्लवं धूतमासाद्य तमः सूर्योदये यथा
Very good. There is a Dvitva here. Viklavam. Double. अर्थानर्थान्तरे बुद्धिः
अर्थानर्थान्तरे बुद्धिः
निश्चितापि न शोभते
निश्चितापि न शोभते
घातयन्ति हि कार्याणि
घातयन्ति हि कार्याणि
दूताः पण्डितमानिनः
धूताः पण्डितमानिनः
वेरी गुड अर्थानर्थान्तरे बुद्धिः निश्चितापि न शोभते
अर्थानर्थान्तरे बुद्धिः निश्चितापि न शोभते
घातयन्ति हि कार्याणि दूताः पण्डितमानिनः
घातयन्ति हि कार्याणि दूताः पण्डितमानिनः
Very good. Would you like to try G? The
Yes.
Okay. Very good.
वप्रप्राकारजघनां विपुलां गुणवाम्बरां शतघ्निशूलकेशान्ताम् अट्टालकवतंसकाम् मनस्सेव कृतां लङ्काम्
One more time.
मनस्सेव कृतां लङ्काम्
Little more. It is just one word. Manaseva कृतां लङ्काम्.
मनसेव कृतां लङ्काम्
Very good.
निर्मितां विश्वकर्मणा द्वारमुत्तरमासाद्य चिन्तयामास वानरः कैलासशिखरप्रख्याम् आलिखन्तीमिवाम्बरम् दीयमानामिवाकाशम् उच्छ्रितैर्भवनोत्तमैः सम्पूर्णां राक्षसैर्घोरैः नागैर्भोगवतीमिव अचिन्त्यां सुकृतां स्पष्टां कुबेराध्युषितां पुरा दंष्ट्रिभिर्बहुभिः शूरैः शूलपट्टिसपाणिभिः रक्षितां राक्षसैर्घोरैः गुहामाशीविषैरिव तस्याश्च महतीं गुप्तिं सागरं च निरीक्ष्य सः रावणं च रिपुं घोरं चिन्तयामास वानरः आगत्यापीह हरयो भविष्यन्ति निरर्थकाः न हि युद्धेन वै लङ्का शक्या जेतुं सुरैरपि
Little slower, please.
Ah.
Just a little slower.
इमां तु विषमां दुर्गां लङ्कां रावणपालितां प्राप्यापि स महाबाहुः किं करिष्यति राघवः
Very good.
अवकाशो न सान्त्वस्य राक्षसेष्वभिगम्यते न दानस्य न भेदस्य नैव युद्धस्य दृश्यते
Drishyate. Dirgham.
न दानस्य न भेदस्य नैव युद्धस्य दृश्यते चतुर्णामेव हि गतिः वानराणां महात्मनां वालिपुत्रस्य नीलस्य मम राज्ञश्च धीमतः यावज्जानामि वैदेहीं यदि जीवति वा न वा तत्रैव चिन्तयिष्यामि दृष्ट्वा तां जनकात्मजाम्
Second pada in second line.
तत्र
One second. Tatraiva chintayishyami. Prasvaha there. So we tend to say tatraiva chintayishyami. We tend to make it dirgha. So instead of making it dirgha, make it hrasvaha. Tatraiva chintayishyami.
तत्रैव चिन्तयिष्यामि दृष्ट्वा तां जनकात्मजाम् ततश्च चिन्तयामास मुहूर्तं कपिकुञ्जरः
No problem. Take your time.
ततश्च चिन्तयामास मुहूर्तं कपिकुञ्जरः गिरिशृङ्गे स्थितस्तस्मिन्
Giri is hrasvaha there. Again, Kurit. Girishringe.
गिरिशृङ्गे स्थितस्तस्मिन् रामस्याभ्युदये रतः अनेन रूपेण मया न शक्या रक्षसां पुरी प्रवेष्टुं राक्षसैर्गुप्ता क्रूरैर्बलसमन्वितैः उग्रौजसो महावीर्या बलवन्तश्च राक्षसाः वञ्चनीया मया सर्वे जानकीं परिमार्गता लक्ष्येण रूपेण रात्रौ लङ्कापुरी मया प्रवेष्टुं प्राप्तकालं मे कृत्यं साधयितुं महत् तां पुरीं तादृशीं दृष्ट्वा दुराधर्षां सुरासुरैः हनूमांश्चिन्तयामास विनिश्चित्य मुहुर्मुहुः केनोपायेन पश्येयम् मैथिलीं जनकात्मजाम् अदृष्टो राक्षसेन्द्रेण रावणेन दुरात्मना
Duratmana, I think the first time you said also there is an nakaraha that is heard.
Ke-
Ravanena Duratmana.
अदृष्टो राक्षसेन्द्रेण रावणेन दुरात्मना न विनश्येत् कथं कार्यं रामस्य विदितात्मनः एकामेकश्च पश्येयं रहिते ये जनकात्मजाम् भूताश्चार्था विपद्यन्ते देशकालविरोधिताः विक्लवं दूतमासाद्य तमः सूर्योदये यथा अर्थानर्थान्तरे बुद्धिः
Buddhihi, the bha is not Mahapranah. Arthanarthantare buddhihi.
अर्थानर्थान्तरे बुद्धिः निश्चितापि न शोभते घातयन्ति हि कार्याणि धूताः पण्डितमानिनः
Very good. The again is not Mahapranah. Duta panditamaninaha.
घातयन्ति हि कार्याणि धूताः पण्डित ट्यून् मारिच
Ha. Ghatayanti hi karyani.
घातयन्ति कार्याणि धूताः पण्डितमानिनः.
Very good. Excellent.
Thank you.
Excellently chanted. Very good. I know where you started when
Thank
we
you, Ji.
started learning Bhagavad Gita and where you are today, Rajeshwari ji. Keep it up.
Thank you so much. Sarvam Krishna Arpanam. Thank you.
She's such a Krishna Bhakta too. Excellent. Any doubts in any of the verses? 36. Okay. Tam purim tadrishim drishtva dura dharsham sura suraihi hanumams chintayamasa hanumams chintayamasa vinishchitya muhur muhuhu. So there is ma im ish cha. So hanumams, there is a ish that you say there. Hanumams chintaya masa vinishchitya muhuru. Sampurnam rakshasair ghoraihi rakshasair ghoraihi nagair bhogavatimiva achintyam sukritam spashtam kuberad yushitam pura kuberad yushitam pura sampurnam rakshasair ghoraihi nagair bhogavatimiva achintyam sukritam spashtam kuberad yushitam pura. Damshtribhir bahubhih shuraihi shula patti sapanibhihi rakshitam rakshasair ghoraihi guha mashi vishairiva. So here damshtribhir bahubhih shuraihi bha ish shuraihi shula patti pa itti sapanibhihi. Again, bha is Mahapranah here. Rakshitam rakshasair ghoraihi guha mashi vishairiva. 24, 25, 31. Yavajjanami vaidehi yadi jivati va na va tatraiva chintayishyami drishtvatam janakatmajam. Yeah, it's actually yavat janami. There is a sandhi there, which is union of two. End of first, the last aksharam of the first pada and the first aksharam of the second pada. So it's kind of like pirithaldu and sethaldu in Tamil. When sandhi happens there, which is a union, it becomes yavat, becomes yavaj. Janami Vaidehi. Any Sanskritam students here who can say what the Sandhi is? Sandhi is? Dashtra Sandhi. Uttamam. You can do the Shutva for Jashtvam and Shutva Sandhi both. Okay, any other, I don't see anything in YouTube chat. I think fairly simple set of shlokas, not many complicated words. Is Uma Bagni here? She had volunteered to do the meaning of the first 20 verses. Could you please raise your hand in Zoom? Namaskara, Bagni. One second. I think somebody has asked for Sarga to text. I've actually shared it again in today's Sundarakandam group. You can just message me directly or email me. I can send it to you. I don't want to spam the group again and again. You can message me directly or send an email with the language that you would like, and I can send it over. Namaskara, Uma Bagni.
Namaskaraha. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shall I try?
Go ahead, Bagni. Please go ahead.
Sundara Kandam, Dvitiya Sargaha, Nishagama Pratiksha. Here Hanuman reaches the first Sarga after crossing the vast ocean, which is not easily crossable by anyone. Great powerful Hanuman stood on the Trikuta peak and looked around calmly. First. Then second one, the trees released flowers on the mighty one. Then Hanuman stood there and appeared as if showered with flowers and was fully covered and adorned with flowers. Then third one, after crossing 100 yojanas, the glorious triumphant Hanuman did not feel exhausted or breathless or even tired. Then fourth, Hanuman thought to himself, I have crossed 100 yojanas now. I can again go in for another 100 yojanas also. Fifth one, the brave and best Hanuman reached Lanka after swiftly and speedily crossing the vast ocean. Sixth one, Hanuman crossed through the mountainous forest-like region where there were green, blue and fragrant meadows. 7. The Tejasvi, that is resplendent Hanuman, approached the mountainous region, moving around the dense mountainous region filled with fragrant flowers. 8. The son of Vayu stood there in the middle of the woodlands, and looked at Lanka. 9. He saw the well-bloomed, fragrant flowers, straight, tall pine and date palm trees, also types of flowering plants, Priyala, Muchulinda, Utaja, and Ketaka. These are all flowering plants. Then 10th, the fragrant flowering creepers, Nipa, and 7-leaved banana trees, Asana, Kovidara, and Karavira flowers, all emitting fragrance. 11. Bound under the weight of flowers and buds and blossoms, the trees with birds perched on them and swaying to and fro, giving a pleasant breeze. 12. There were beautiful swans moving along and playing in the ponds and water bodies with various aquatic flowers like lilies. 13. The elephant among monkeys saw different types of trees and beautiful gardens having flowers and fruits of all seasons. 14. Nearing Lanka, the prosperous city, well protected by Ravana, Hanuman saw the moats adorned with lotuses and lilies. 15. After abduction of Sita, Lanka, which was well protected by Ravana and guarded by Rakshasas. These Rakshasas were with hoarse and gruff and terrifying voices were roaming around. 16. The beautiful city, as if made of gold, having houses as tall as mountains amid shining autumnal clouds, were illuminated like celestial entrances. 17. There were white, tall structures surrounded by structures where the structures like forts having garlands, banners, and flags. Then 18. Hanuman saw the torrents as beautiful as gold and rows of creepers of different kinds and shining bright and looking like abode of gods. 19. Standing on the top of the mountain, the best among monkeys, Hanuman saw Lanka bright and beautiful and as if floating in the sky. Then 20. Hanuman saw the city protected by king of Rakshasas, that is Ravana, and constructed by Vishwakarma.
Very good. Very nice, short and sweet summary. Very straightforward meaning also this set where Hanuman is just entering into Lanka and he's looking at Lanka. He's admiring the beauty of the city. He's looking at all the trees. He himself is adorned with flowers and he feels like the city is so beautiful that it gives us the feeling that it has been constructed by somebody who is not Manusha, who can only be a celestial person. So he says that this is probably built by Vishwakarma, the chief architect of the Devaloka. Very nice, very nicely summarized, short and sweet. Dhanyavada, Bhagni.
Dhanyavada.
Ram Ram.
Ram Ram.
So Hanuman is entering into the city of Lanka and he is ready for his search. Now, before he enters, he is still at a point where it is not completely night yet. And he feels that he probably needs to wait until it needs to get dark, which is why the title of this Sarga, of course, you can see that the Sarga names also change depending on which book you look at. This is generally termed as the Nishagama Pratiksha, where Nisha is night, Agama is arrival, and Pratiksha is wait. Hanuman is waiting, so he's probably landed at dusk, which is the evening. And he's waiting for the right moment to enter into Lanka. Now he has entered, but to actually go into the city and look for Sita Mata. So he is waiting for it to get dark so that he is not caught by somebody in the enemy territory. So that is where the plot is right now. And he continues the Anveshanam, which is the search, or he's ready for the search, and he continues describing the city of Lanka in these set as well. Vapra prakara jhaganam vipulam ambuna vambaram shatagni shulakeshantam attalakava tamsakam. So he is saying Vipulam, the city is so huge and vast, and it looks as though Vapraprakara Jaganam. It is looking as though these huge walls that have been erected to protect the city is like the city's waist, right? It is strong yet very beautiful to look at. And Shatragni, which is the destructive weapon, Shula Keshantam. There are spears as well. The entire Lanka is described like a lady here. In general, whenever there is a place, right, the place is generally referred to in feminine gender. So the city of Lanka with these huge structures as her waist and the vastness, which is like a canopy or something which is covering over the sky, is also adorned with the shatagni, very the weapons which are very destructive in nature. And ambuna vambaram, so the city is covered with sky, and the sky itself looks like a canopy for the city. Canopy is like a round structure that you generally erect over to cover places. And these weapons which are there are like ornaments. So he says, Attalakava tamsakam. These weapons are like ornaments to the city itself. So he is sort of using his imagination to describe the city as a lady or in a feminine gender, talking about the vastness, talking about how the tall structures or the forts that cover the city kind of look like the waist of the city itself, and then it has these destructive weapons or catapults, and also these spears and weapons that are there, kind of covering the city, and the sky which is appearing to be covering like a canopy. And all these look like the ornaments to the city itself. Did the slide flip? Okay. Manaseva kritam lankam nirmitam vishwakarmana dwaram uttaram asadya chintayamasa vanaraha. Manasa iva kritam lankam nirmitam vishwakarmana. So he says that in the mind, he is thinking that this has been created by the imagination and with the skill and the architectural talent of Vishwakarma, the celestial architect. And thinking this in his mind, he kind of reached the northern gate of Lanka, and he deeply began to ponder. Vanaraha chintayamasa. Chintanam means thinking. Let me just switch on the light. Give me a second. Vanaraha chintayamasa. Vanara, Hanuman, was deeply pondering, where having reached the northern gate, Dwaram Uttaram or Uttaram Dwaram Asadya, having reached the northern gate, Nirmitam Lanka, he was looking at the Nirmitam means constructed Lanka, the city of Lanka, by whom Vishwakarmana Kritam. It was created by Vishwakarma himself, and it was created Manasa Iva. It was created, using his imagination. So the creativity of Vishwakarma was very well in display by just looking at the city. It looked so divine, beautiful, and profound to look at. It didn't look like any normal city that we would visit. So Hanuman was kind of astonished looking at the architecture of the city and the way it was crafted by Vishwakarma. So he's saying, Kailasa Shikhara Prakhyam Alikhantim Iva Ambaram Yamanam Iva Akasham Uchritaihi Bhavanottamaihi. So he was looking at Uchritaihi Bhavanottamaihi. He was looking at these lofty, tall structures. Bhavanam in general means buildings. So by looking at these huge structures which were kind of hitting the sky, Diyamanam Akasham Iva. So they were so huge, it was, they were hitting the sky, or it looked like they were drawing the sky towards themselves and swaying in the Devalokam itself. He felt, what did he feel? Kailasa Shikhara Prakyam. He was felt as though these resembled the peak of the Kailasa mountain. So we need to keep in mind that Kailasam is a mountain where you have to climb several meters and feet to actually reach the peak. And when you reach, you will feel that you are closer to the sky than you are to the land. However, Lanka, on the other hand, is very much a plain or a land, which is not a tall structure. But looking at all the lofty buildings and the huge structures, Uchritaihi Bhavana Uttamaihi, looking at these huge structures, it appeared as though he was standing, or the city itself resembled the peak of Shikharam, means the top. Kailasa Shikharam, the peak of the Mount Kailasa, Prakyam, resembling that. And he felt as though the city was drawing the entire sky. Ambaram is Akasham. And Diyamanam means flying or swaying. So these huge buildings had this heavenly or divine resemblance, that they looked elevated in terms of the way they were constructed. Elevated can be used in the sense that high and beautiful and beyond description, and also something which is raised. So he felt as though these were heavenly structures which were closer to the sky than they were to the land. And hence he was in his mind comparing these buildings to the peak of Kailasa, as though he felt like if he were standing on top of Kailasha Shikharam, how he would feel. He would feel closer to the sky than to the land, with the clouds floating and the huge structures that we witnessed, the huge vast land that we witnessed, the beauty of the land that we witnessed from the top of the mountain. That is what Hanuman was experiencing. Sampurnam Rakshasaihi Ghoraihi Nagaihi Bhogavatim Iva Achintyam Sukritam Spashtam Kuberadhyushitam Pura. So Hanuman, as he was looking at Lanka, it looked like Bhogavati, which is a city of Naga. Naga is serpent. So the fierceness of the city resembled as though it looked like Bhogavati, the city of serpents. And it was filled, Sampurnam Ghoraihi Rakshasaihi. Ghoram is terrifying, fierce, something terrible to look at. In Tamil also we say, no, Ghorama irukku paakradhukku. So Ghoram, Ghoraihi Rakshasaihi, with the Rakshasas or the demons, which were, or who were fierce and terrifying and terrible to look at. The whole city looked like the city of serpents, Bhogavatim Iva. He is making a comparison in his mind. And Achintyam, Chintanam means thinking, Achintyam means something which is cannot be thought about, something which is not fathomable at all, unfathomable. And Sukritam means, even though it looked like a city of serpents, serpents in general don't have a structure, right? If you see a city of serpents, you can see like snakes all over. There is no structure to it. But then Sukritam, even though in terms of the fierceness, the terrifying look, or the ghoram, or the scariness or a fear one would experience, the city is like Bhogavati. However, Sukritam, Su in general in Sanskritam means good. Suputra means good son. So Swagatam, Suagatam, warm welcome, good welcome. So Sukritam, which is actually structured very well. It is very well made. Spashtam, it is so very well measured and neatly constructed. It is not haphazard. It is not kind of convoluted to look at. It is very well structured, very neatly displayed. And that is why his vision was attracted towards the city. And this is not an ordinary city. This is a city which was inhabited by Kubera himself. Once inhabited, or when once upon a time, Kubera, the lord of wealth, who also belonged to that same clan as Ravana, Kubera Dhyushitam, means the city was inhabited, lived upon by Pura, means long time back. So Hanuman was looking at the city which was filled with Rakshasas, not just ordinary Rakshasas who were very terrifying to look at, terrible to look at, causing a lot of fear. So he felt, is this like a city of serpents where it creates a lot of fear and kind of disturbing feeling when we look at? But then in terms of the grandeur or the way the city was displayed, or it was looked upon, it is something that one cannot fathom in the mind. And it was still very clearly made, well structured. It was very clear, spashtam. And of course, he reminded himself that this was the city where once upon a time, Lord Kubera himself dwelled upon, where he lived. Damstri bihi, bahubihi, shuraihi, shulapatti sapanibihi, rakshitam, rakshasaihi, ghoraihi, guham, ashi vishaihi, iva. So he was thinking in his mind and reiterating in his mind that the city definitely is filled with Rakshasas who are Ghora to look at, but at the same time, these Rakshasas are armed Rakshasas. Damstribihi, Damstram means fierce with broad, terrifying teeth. Damstram in general means teeth. Here, protruding teeth. Damstram, Damstribihi, Bahubihi, numerous, right? Shuraihi, Shura in general means courageous, the one who was very brave. Shula Patti Sapani Bihi. So these were not Rakshasas who were walking freely, swaying their hands. They had these spears and weapons in their hand. Pani is hand. So they were holding these weapons which are destructive. And what kind of city was this? The city was Rakshitam, means guarded by, protected by, Voraihi Rakshasaihi, by these fierce Rakshasas. And it looked as though Guha means cave, a cave which was guarded by or filled with Ashi Vishaihi, means very poisonous snakes. So a cave which was filled with or guarded by poisonous snakes. It had that kind of resemblance. So he's going between a city which is beautiful to look at, which is well structured, but at the same time, in terms of the Horam or the terrifying look or the terrible look or the way the Rakshasas were filling the city, and not just ordinary Rakshasas, these Rakshasas who had protruding teeth and who were carrying the wielding spears and weapons and destructive arms. And that was the kind of city that was being protected by these Rakshasas. So he is going between terrifying and beautiful. It is looking like a heaven, but on the other hand, it seems like hell, right? It resembles like Narakaloka. The external beauty is like Swargalokam, but the inner or the filling of the city is like Narakaloka. So he's going in his mind, he's like, it is a seesaw kind of emotion that Hanuman is feeling. That is because the city as such is beautiful. But what is inside the city, who actually are the inhabitants of the city? So which is why they say, don't judge the book by its cover, right? Don't judge people by external beauty. It is the internal beauty which actually counts. You have to look inside to appreciate beauty of people. External beauty, it can go away anytime. It's the internal beauty which sustains. So he says, externally, the city is very beautiful. It is heaven-like. But internally, it is filled with Ghora Rakshasas who are well armed, who are terrifying and terrible to look at. And he's comparing in his mind that it is like a cave which is protected by or filled with these venomous, poisonous snakes. Tasyaha cha mahatim guptim sagaram cha nirikshya saha ravanam cha ripum ghoram chintayamasa vanaraha. So Hanuman was looking at the kind of security that the city had. Guptim means security. And the city, which was an island, right? It is a dvipa, means Sagaram cha nirikshya saha. So when you're looking at the city, at the same time, you can get when you're in the border of an island, when you're just entering an island, you will have the vision of both the land and the water. Wherever you stand, unless you go to the middle of the island, you would be able to see both the Sagaram, the ocean, as well as the land. So he was deeply observing, Chintayamasa Vanaraha, deeply observing the Guptim, Mahatim Guptim. Mahati means great. Extremely cautious in this context, Guptim, the security of which place of Lanka. And he was also thinking about his Ripu. Ripu means enemy. And who is his enemy? His enemy is Ghoram Ravanam. He was thinking in his mind of Ravana, who is a terrible enemy. No ordinary person will commit a sin like carrying and kidnapping another person's wife and forcing her to marry him. So that Ghora Rakshasa, Ghoram in terms of his thoughts and actions and his implementation, he is thinking in his mind of this great city, which has extremely cautious security. At the same time, he is also looking at the Sagaram. So this verse kind of indicates he is not gone into the city, inside the city. He is still at the border, trying to enter into the city. And at the same time, he is reminding himself of Ravana, who is a terrible person, terrible in terms of, not sticking to dharma, not having clean thoughts, and committing a sin. So thinking of that, he is planning his next set of actions. Agatya api iha harayaha bhavishyanti nirarthakaha nahi yuddhena vailanka shakya jetum suraihi api. So he is thinking this is a place which cannot be won over. Jetum means won over, conquered. Surai means Devas, which is why Asura means Asuras, the opposite of Devas. So in general, we say Devas and Asuras. You can also say Suras and Asuras. So even by Devas who have these magical powers, who have great strength, both physical and mental, there is no place that Devas cannot not conquer. But this place, Lanka, nahi yuddhena, even by waging a war, it seems like a place, na shakya. Shakya means possible, na shakya means impossible. By whom? By suraihi api, by the gods, devas as well. So he is thinking, even if the Vanaras come there, so agatya api iha. Iha means here. Agatya, even if they come, harayaha. Hari, another meaning for hari is Vanara. Harayaha means monkeys or Vanaras. Nirarthakaha means it will be very useless or ineffective. So in his mind, a city which cannot be conquered or won upon by devas themselves, by gods themselves, what would be the use? What will be the effect? If Vanaras come there, There is no comparison between the capability, the strength, physical and mental, between a Deva and a Vanara. Even Devas cannot conquer through war, by waging a war. Lanka is one such place, one kind of place. So what will these Vanaras do coming here? Even if they manage to cross and come here, it is going to be a futile effort. Even if they come here, they are not going to be able to wage a war. And even if they wage a war, they are definitely not going to win it. So here, Valmiki clearly brings out how a human mind generally functions. So he is just entering into the city. He is looking at the city, and there is a mixed emotion that he is feeling. Like even like when we think about, going to a contest, for example, we might know that the opponent whom we are facing, or whom we are going to play against or compete against, that person is extremely talented. At some level, we might actually be admiring that person. So on the other hand, there will be admiration. There will also be this fear factor, right? So there will be mixed emotions that we will be feeling. And then if, for example, we are facing one such person, we'll be thinking in our mind, how am I even going to win this person? Do I have the capability? Do I have the skill? Do I even deserve to be in this spot playing or competing against this person? So just like a human mind typically works, Hanuman's mind is also working, and that's what Valmiki is depicting here. We'll just see a little bit more and it will become clear. Imam tu Vishamam Durgam Lankam Ravana Palitam Prapya api saha Mahabahuhu Kim Karishyati Raghavah. Now he was thinking about Vanara. So it is very clear that a city that cannot be won by gods themselves, devas themselves, cannot be touched upon, cannot be even thought about in mind by Vanaras. So, but then it's not just going to be Vanaras. Rama is going to be here, but he is thinking Mahabahu, that mighty armed Raghavaha, Rama. Even if he reaches this place which is guarded by Ravana, Lankam Ravana Palita, but it is no ordinary place, Vishamam, something which is difficult to access because they all have to cross the ocean. And even if they cross the ocean and come, Imam Durgam, it is guarded by these huge fortress, and it is going to be difficult for them to reach here. Even if they reach here, Prapya api, even if they reach here, Kim Karishyati Raghavah, what will Rama do? Will he be able to face Ravana? Will he be able to fight a battle? Will he be able to win over Ravana? Will he be able to get Sita back? Is that a possibility? So that is what Hanuman is thinking about. These are the things which are running in his mind. Now he is not even entered the city, but just by looking at the city, just by looking at the security of the city, just by looking at the Rakshasas who are well guarding the city, just by thinking about Ravana, who is the enemy, he is thinking anybody who comes here it's going to be a futile effort. But even if they come here, forget them. Even if Rama comes here, who is mighty armed, he is reminding himself he is no normal person, the mighty armed Rama as well. Even if he comes here, the city which is guarded by Ravana, a place which is impossible to access, impossible to approach, which is guarded by these huge fortress, it is going to be tough. So, Kim Karishyati, what will he do? Ennada pannuvar Rama. So that is the kind of emotion that he is experiencing in his mind. Avakashah na santvasya rakshaseshu abhigamyate na danasya na bhedasya na eva yuddhasya drishyate. So with these demons or these rakshasas, Rama or Hanuman or other people trying to wage a war or have a conflict with them, is war the only way? How do they actually negotiate with them? Now, if you take any two countries in general, there are talks that happen between countries before war happens, right? They try to reach upon a common ground. Forget even countries, like within family, between a parent and a child. The child is asking something, the father and the mother are negotiating with the child. It's like a peace talk that happens, right? The child is asking for something, the parents say, we can't give you that, but then we might be able to offer you this, and then the argument kind of happens there. So in general, when we are looking at such negotiation, you might have heard the samadana bheda danda, right? Sama is you use logic to during the argument, and you try to convince the other person. There is peaceful talk that happens. Can I stay late till like 10 o'clock at night? No, it is not safe. It is not advisable. We will be worried. So I am giving the parents, children example because I have 3 teenagers at home, so I can relate to that the most. And then dana. So you try to give some incentives to them. So you say, no, we can't let you till 10 o'clock. You come back at 8, maybe after you come at 8 o'clock, you might get like 1 hour of gadget time or something like that after you come, right? And then if both of these don't work, then we do the bheda, which is you sort of create a deviation there, a discrimination, and then you clearly talk about what is right and what is wrong, and then you raise your voice and you put your foot down. And then the next one would be danda, which is the force that is implemented. I'm like, we are the parents, we say, you listen to what we say, kind of thing. So here Hanuman is thinking, is there any scope for reconciliation between Hanuman, Vanaras, and Rama with the Rakshasas? So can I do Santva, which is conciliation? Can I do Dhanam, which is, can I offer them some kind of like gift or some kind of bribe? Bheda, which is sowing the dissension in their mind, or Yuddha, which is the final option, fighting between them. So within the demons, when Hanuman is looking at these Rakshasas, he feels that there is absolutely no scope for anything to pan out in the right way in favor of Hanuman, Vanaras, and Rama. There is no scope for like having peace talk. There is no scope of giving gift. There is no scope of explaining to them, dharma and what they have done is not right, and then, making them surrender and giving Sita back. Or even if they wage war, he feels this is not going to be a successful task or a successful initiative. So in his mind, that is how I'm interpreting it. He's thinking the samadana bedha danda is not going to be effective in terms of working with these Rakshasas at all. Chaturnam eva hi gatihi vanaranam mahatmanam valiputrasya nilasya mama ragnyah cha dhimatah. So Chaturnam, he's thinking about 4 people who might have some chance of winning over these Rakshasas. So he's thinking from the point of the Vanara. Vanaranam Mahatmanam. He's thought about Rama. He also knows that Rama needs support. So these ordinary Vanaras who belong to the clan won't be able to contribute much. But then he is thinking, these 4, who are the 4? Valiputra, Angada, and then Neela, the one of the chief Vanara, and then Mama is himself, 4, and then Ragnyah, his king, which is who is Sugriva. So these 4 of us, including himself, he feels that they might have gatihi. Here, gatihi means path or maybe some strategy that they will be able to establish and use to win over these Rakshasas. So he's thinking in his mind himself, Angada, Neela, and his king Sugriva. These four only have even a possibility of implementing a strategy that can win over the city of Rakshasas. So Chaturnam eva, only four, Gatihi, will be able to establish a path or a strategy. Vanarana Mahatmanam, of the great Vanaras. Who are they? Vali Putra, Neela, Mama, which is himself, Ragnya, who is the king Sugriva. And when he is describing Sugriva, he says Dhimatah, the wise king Sugriva. Sugriva was the one who did the pact with Rama. And now he is thinking far ahead. He's not even entered into the city. He has no confirmation that Sita is there. Now he has to find Sita first. He has to inform Sita. He has to speak to her, confirm it is indeed Sita, and then escape from the enemy territory, fly back and inform Rama. And only then they all need to come up with a strategy to cross the ocean, come to Lanka, wage the war and win over the Rakshasas. Now, Hanuman is actually thinking way ahead. He is like we say, we let us cross the bridge when we come, right? Don't worry too much about the future. So now he is taking a step back. And this is one of the most important shlokas. So he says, Yavat janami vaidehim yadi jivati va na va tatra eva chintayishyami drishtvatam janakatmajam. So until I actually janami, I know that Vaidehi, Sita, Jivati va na va, whether she is alive or not, whether she is here or not, whether she is alive or not. Until that point, Tatra eva, only then, only after I establish this, Chintayishyami, I will think. Drishtvatam, after seeing Janakatmajam, the daughter of Janaka, the king Janaka. So he kind of made a resolution that he is not going to jump the gun. He is going to wait until he first finds Sita. Not only finds Sita, she has to be alive. We don't know what Ravana could have done to Sita. Is she here? Is she alive? And after establishing these two facts, only then later, after establishing this, I will think about what needs to be done. Let me not get myself ahead of the game. So we all have the tendency, right? We all have these constant flow charts in mind that we keep repeatedly running now and then. If this happens, we will do this. Within that, if this happens, this doesn't happen, what will happen? So right now, we have to focus on the present. It doesn't mean you don't plan for the future, but you don't worry about the future. If you have a certain goal that needs to be achieved before you can go to the next step, you can plan for the next step, but not worry about it. So that is what Hanuman is thinking in this 31st shloka. Valmiki is conveying that don't think ahead too much. You can plan, but don't worry about it. First, you find out what your primary goal is to find Sita. Sita's Anveshanam. You find her first. And then think about what needs to be done. Tataha saha chintayamasa muhurtam kapikunjaraha giri shringe stitaha tasmin ramasya abhyudaye rataha. So, as he was standing on the Trikuta mountain and looking at Lanka, admiring, looking at all the Rakshasas guarding, thinking about Ravana, thinking about all the weapons and arms, and thinking about the security, thinking about the fortress which was guarding the city, the beauty of the city, but then filled with people who are extremely terrifying in nature, all that was happening in his mind. But then for a moment, Muhurtam, Kapikunjaraha, the foremost amongst the Vanaras, Chintayamasa, he was thinking. What was he thinking? He was thinking, saying that all I need to think, focus on, all I need to put my energy, all I need to focus on is Ramasya Abhyudaye Rataha. My devotion to Rama has to be only for his success. I will devote or give all my energy. I will think only about Rama's success. So he was only interested in the welfare of Rama. So, and that moment, after all these thoughts that filled his mind, caused a lot of commotion in his mind, Hanuman took a step back and said, I will wait until I find Sita. I also have to establish she is alive. I also have to establish she is indeed Sita. And then all my energy will be given only to one thing, success of Rama. Tataha saha chintayamasa. He was thinking, Muhurtam, that moment, Kapikunjaraha, the great Vanaram, Girishringe, on the peak of the mountain, Stita, as he stood, Tasmin, on that mountain, he focused all his energy, Ramasya, Abhyudaye Rataha. He, with all devotion, he focused on Rama's success alone. Anena Rupena Maya na Shakya Rakshasam Puri Praveshtum Rakshasaihi Guptaha Kruraihi Balasamanvitaha. Now, first things first. I have to first get into the city. Now I have thought that Rama's success has to be the only goal in my mind. I should not waver my mind into anything else. And what is Rama's goal? Rama's goal is to find Sita. First find Sita and convey that Rama will come and retrieve her. So Sita's Anveshanam, search, is going to be the primary goal. So to search for Sita, he needs to enter into the city. So then he thinks, I am having this huge figure now. He has shrunk a little bit, not enough to enter into the city without getting caught. So Anena Rupena Maya na Shakya. It is not possible for me to enter into the city. Rakshasam Puri. Enter Shramyatam. Rakshasam Puri. The city which is filled with demons. One second. Anena Rupena Maya na Shakya. It is not possible for me in Maya, by me, in this form, where to enter the city, Rakshasam Puri, the city of demons, Praveshtum means to enter. And that city, which is Guptaha, guarded by Rakshasaihi, by the Rakshasas. And what kind of Rakshasas? Kruraihi, they are very cruel. The moment he gets caught, they are not going to be kind to him. They are not going to talk and find out, like when we go into another country, we have these immigration officers who are there, who are trying to talk to us. They are not going to immediately catch and hand us over to police or put us in jail. They're going to talk and find out, why are you here? How long are you here? So there is going to be no negotiation at all with these cruel Rakshasas, and they have this great strength. Balasamanvitaihi, they are endowed with great strength. So this heavily guarded city of Lanka, because it is heavily guarded, it is impossible for Hanuman to enter the city in his current form. Anena Rupena, in the form that he currently possessed. And that city was guarded by cruel, heartless, ruthless Rakshasas who had great strength. So he was thinking what to do. Ugrau jasaha mahaviryaha balavantaha cha rakshasaha vanchaniyaha maya sarve janakim parimargata. So he said, he was thinking himself, in his mind in order to search for Janaki, Parimargata, while searching for Janaki, while he was doing the Anveshanam, search for Sita, Maya, by him, Vanchaniya, somehow he needs to cheat or he needs to deceive these Rakshasas and find his way into the city and find Sita. And Ugrau Jasaha, these Rakshasas uh, have great strength and Mahavirya, they had great valor. I think Ugrau Jasaha, Ugrau Jasaha, it possessing great energy. Mahaviryaha, it has these Rakshasas who have great valor. Balavantaha, they have lot of strength. The first line fully refers to the Rakshasa. So he thinks that Maya Vanchaniya, all these Rakshasas need to be duped, deceived. He somehow needs to manage to be not caught by them, survey, by all these Rakshasas, until as he searches. Parimargataha. Margam means way, as he finds his way, searching for Janaki, searching for Sita. So he is reiterating in his mind that this present form is not the right form to use to enter inside. He is also telling himself what kind of enemy he is likely to encounter. They have great strength, they have great valor, they're extremely strong, they are sharp too. So somehow he needs to deceive them and take upon his task of finding Sita. Lakshya Lakshyena Rupena Ratrau Lankapuri Maya Praveshtum Prapta Kalam Me Krityam Sadhayitum Mahat. So Prapta Kalam means here the right time. Very important. Whenever we handle a task, we are working towards the goal, we have to wait for the right time. Say we are targeting something which will appeal to people during summer. It will make no sense to launch that particular product in the month of November or December when it is winter. It is not going to take off at all. So the right time, strike the iron while it is hot, right? It is very important. So he is thinking in his mind, Ratrau, night is the time when it is convenient. It will be the right time, the conducive time for me to enter Lanka. And only then, Lakshya, Alakshyena, either in a form which is visible or not visible to others, Rupena, in that form, Lankapuri Maya, I will enter the city of Lanka. Praveshtum, Praveshana means entering into. Only then, Krityam, here Krityam means the task undertaken. Sadhayitum, I can be successful, I can accomplish the task. What kind of task? Mahat task. It is not going to be easy. It is a task which is not going to be a piece of cake for anybody. So entering the city of Lanka, looking for Sita, deceiving all the Rakshasas, making sure he doesn't get caught. So night is probably the right time to do it. Tam Purim Tadrishim Drishtva Dura Dharsham Surasuraihi Hanuman Chintayamasa Vinishchitya Muhurmuhu. So he was looking at Lanka and he was thinking, this is a city, even Sura Asuraihi, even gods and Rakshasas cannot enter very easily, right? That kind of Lanka Drishtva, Tampurim Tadrishim, that kind of Lanka, Duradharsham, something impregnable. You can't enter into the city very easily, even by the most powerful devas or the asuras. They cannot penetrate, they cannot get in. So Hanuman, Chintayamasa, Hanuman was thinking and contemplating. Vinishchitya, he was taking his time to come up with a plan. So here, 36th shloka, I would mark this. the contemplation or the time that you give for planning is very important. A lot of times we are very impulsive in nature. We come up with an idea, we set a goal, and then without thinking about, pros, cons, the task, doable, not doable, the time to do it, the structure of the task, the order of the task, and whether we have the strength to do it, whether we can do everything by ourselves or we need to take external help. So there is a lot of planning and contemplation that needs to happen whenever we have a task that we have in mind. So duradharsha means something which is not reachable, penetrable. That kind of city, Surasuraihi, even by gods and devas. So Hanuman was taking his time, muhurmuhu, repeatedly in his mind. He was vinishchitya, he was thinking, what would be the best time to go? How should I go? In what way can I approach and find Sita so that I don't get caught? If I get caught, say by the Rakshasas or Ravana, what is it that I need to do? So he has to come up with a plan in mind, but then he is still working on his current goal. Earlier in the previous, few shlokas, he was thinking about him finding Sita, going and reporting to Rama, and then Rama, Vanaras, his king, all of them coming and waging a war with the Rakshasas, which was one step later, many steps later, in fact. But here it is very clear. He is still thinking about finding Sita. I need to find Sita Mata. What should I do? This is the kind of the city that I am approaching. My enemy has these skills, and this is whom I will be having an encounter. What is it that I need to do? And he is telling himself, this is not an ordinary city. Even by devas and asuras, this is a place which is not easily penetratable. So I need to take my time to come up with a plan so that I am successful in what I am undertaking without getting caught. Even worse, without getting killed. Kena upayena pashyeyam maithilim janakatmajam adrishtaha rakshasendrena ravanena duratmana. So here he's saying duratmana, that wicked Ravana, Rakshasendrena, Rakshasa Indrena, the king of Rakshasas. He wants to make sure that adrishtaha, he should definitely not be seen by Ravana. And kena upayena, upayam means or way, which through which path or through which way, right? So I need to pashyeyam, I will see. And whom does he want to see? Maithilim, daughter of Mithila, Sita, Janakatmajam, the daughter of Janaka. So while he is trying to come up with an idea to find Sita, the daughter of Janaka, he has one thing in his mind, bold, italics and underline. Rakshasendrena, Ravanena. What kind of Rakshasa? Duratmana Rakshasa. Adrishtaha. I should not be seen. I should not be caught. That should be my primary goal. Na vinashyet katham karyam ramasya viditatmanah ekam ekah cha pashyeyam rahite janakatmajam. He's saying, I need to make sure of one thing. What is it that he needs to make sure? In no way he can fail. Na vinashyet. Vinashyet means failing. Karyam, in this task. Why? Because this is the task of Rama. Ramasya viditatmanaha. Viditatmanaha means somebody who is extremely noble nature. So it is, I need to make sure that the task I have undertaken for the noble Rama, in no way it will fail. I have to ensure that I will be successful. So he says, I have to make sure that I meet Sita. I have to make sure that Rahite means I have to speak to her or meet her or find her and have a conversation with her, if at all there is a chance, in private. Rahite means rahasyam here. Pashyeyam, I need to see. So I need to find Sita. I need to make sure that ekam ekascha, only Sita and I are there, so that he can do whatever needs to be done to convey the message to Sita, take her message back to Rama. If he sees Sita, say in amidst an assembly or group of people, or in a place where he cannot have a one-on-one conversation, he might be able to still go back to and convey to Rama, but that is going to be only so much productive, and he might not be able to justify to Rama or justify even to himself about the search of Sita, conversation with her, and convey how much Sita is also lamenting and thinking about Rama. So it needs to be a two-way communication. So he wants to make sure how much focus Hanuman has here, and that's very evident. Ekam ekaha cha rahite. I need to make sure that I somehow find Sita and I find a moment, a private moment where I can have a conversation with her, devoid of people. Bhutaha cha arthaha vipadyante deshakala virodhitaha viklavam dutam asadya tamaha suryodaye yatha. So he is telling himself that whatever task is done, it has to be at the right place and the right time. This is something we all have to keep in mind. Even when we have conversation, when we give comments, when we give feedback, there is always a time and place for everything. And it is the impulsiveness that we all have, or the lack of planning that I should say we don't have, right? We don't have enough planning, which causes us to do or say or think things which are not place bound or time bound. So we say things which are not to be said, we do things which are not to be done in a place where it should not be done. So he says, bhutaha, existing, arthaha, it is purpose is very important. Vipadyante means it will be completely destroyed. It will be meaningless. The purpose will be defeated. Desha kala virodhitaha. Desha here means to sthalam or place. Kala is time. Samayaha virodhitaha, which means it is not conducive. It is opposed to the place and the time. Viklavam, it will cause a lot of discomfort, unsteadiness. Dutam asadya, and a messenger who is not steady, who is not balanced. He's thinking about himself. He has come as Rama's messenger. It will definitely fail. Right? How will it fail? Suryodaye tamaha. How darkness fails at Suryodaya. So when the sun rises, darkness ends, right? It gets destroyed. So similarly, a task which is done at an inappropriate place in an inappropriate time will be completely destructive. So as a person who has come as Duta, messenger, I need to have a steady mind, a structured plan, clear thinking as I undertake a task which is for Rama's success. Artha, anartha, antare, buddhihi, nishchitaha api na shobhate. Ghaatayantihi karyani dutaha pandita maninaha. So, between artha and anartha, between the success and failure, one needs to be extremely determined, nishchita. And in case We go beyond what is required. Pandita maninaha. Here, the panditaha is referred to in a sarcastic way. I know everything. I don't need planning. I am skilled in this. So, being overconfident. Dutaha, messengers. Ghatayanti karyani. They will destroy the karyam that they have undertaken. If they think too much about themselves, and na shobhate, whatever goal they have undertaken, they are not going to be successful, and they are not going to shine. Here, shobhanam in general means shining. Na shobhate means they are not going to be successful, or they're not going to be seen the right way. So, even if you have a plan which can cause success or failure, it will not be successful if you entrust it to messengers who kind of overthink about themselves or overestimate, or they're arrogant about themselves and their wisdom. Pandita maninaha. They are bound to ghatayanti. They are bound to destroy the task. So he is clearly thinking and focusing on what he needs to be done. First thing is the form. Second thing, the kind of Rakshasas. Third thing, Ravana. Fourth is how he needs to find Sita and how he needs to execute. The place and the time where he needs to strike. All these are kind of, Hanuman is churning in his mind and thinking that I don't want to overthink or think too much about myself. I need to be cautious. I need to plan this very carefully, because anybody who thinks themselves to be too wise, if one such person is a messenger, then whatever task has been given to them is bound to be a failure, is bound to be destroyed. And between success and failure, what they will be facing is nothing but failure. So they will not shine, or they will not be successful in any means. So I think the first set 10 shlokas that we saw today, still I think it spoke about the city of Lanka and how Hanuman is going between how it is beautiful, but then at the same time Ghoram to look at. But the next set talks clearly about how focused Hanuman is, and how he is introspecting, how he is contemplating, how he is planning, how he is taking his time. He has arrived there. If we arrive at a place, the first thing we will do is immediately go, whatever task we have undertaken, immediately go and finish it. But Hanuman is not doing that. Yeah, I think Ushaji is saying he's strategizing how he needs to do it, when he needs to do it, the place where he needs to do it, in which form he needs to do it. So he's taking one step at a time and kind of planning and structuring his anveshanam or search. And he also is thinking in his mind that when he hopes to find Sita and he hopes to get a private moment with her, so that he can have a conversation that he can convey back to Rama. I think the second set of shlokas that we saw today are lessons learned in terms of the planning that we need to do when we undertake a task, and also not jumping the gun, right? Thinking too much and worrying about what will happen if it fails when we have not even started the task. So the first set kind of like gives that, and the second set talks about the strategy Hanuman is playing in his mind in order to find Sita Devi. So we've completed till 40. We will do the next set of shlokas next week. I will upload the individual verses as well as the set of 10. I think as days progress, I see lesser number of people joining for the live classes. Like we had mentioned, take a sankalpa to participate live and be present in the class. And I think that is what will make a huge difference to our learning long term. And I've also seen, it's my personal experience, that if we miss a couple of classes and we don't catch up, in general, we tend to drop the learning completely. I'm sure many people would agree with me. if we miss 2 classes, we don't catch up, we don't have the motivation to come to the 3rd class, because in our mind, it will keep running that I missed 2 classes, I have not caught up, I might as well drop Sundara Kandam learning. So please take a sankalpa to attend the classes live. Block your calendar every Friday. I will truly make a humble attempt to have the classes without canceling them. The reason why I wait till 3:30 is because I want to make sure I complete my office work before I start my class today. In fact, it spilled over and I was running some scripts as I was starting the class. So that is the only reason why I'm waiting till 3:30 to post the message. So take a sankalpa. And even for me, I've taken a sankalpa that in case for some reason I have to miss the Friday class, I will compensate, another day, same week or the next week, to make sure that we don't miss classes. So my humble request to all the learners, all the members, to make sure that you participate in the live class and don't miss classes. And in case you are not able to attend, take a sankalpa to listen to the recording and learn and chant and practice before the next class, so that you don't drop Sundara Kandam learning. I know a lot of us have taken a sankalpa. When we started, there were about 200 plus who were there in the first class. So I see as we move the number of live participants, there are many who are learning from the recordings. But for me, the worry with the recordings is that we miss the energy or the motivation to continue learning kind of drops. So make sure you do the sankalpa, take the sankalpa to attend live classes as much as possible. If you miss, take a sankalpa to make sure you're up to date with the class before the next Friday. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sarvam Krishnarpanam Astu. Mahaperiyava Sharanam. Jai Jai Shankara. Har Har Shankara. Jai Shri Ram. Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you all for joining. Hari Om Tat Sat.